Hey everyone, this is Rishabh Maurya and I'll be discussing about my insights and findings on logistics of Nintendo Corporation Limited. We talk a lot about how games are rising medium, one that's changing culture and becoming a major economic forum. Analysts predict that by 2022, the gaming industry will generate a revenue of $196 billion. That's huge, right? But there's another side to it. There's another story to it. You cannot become big enough on the stage that games have without facing problems or responsibilities. Many of these have to do with the gaming industries, how gaming industries make consoles, provide games to consumers, and the logistics behind it. Today specifically, I'm going to talk about Nintendo Corporation Limited. I have one of my very special friend here who also happened to be a mascot of Nintendo Corporation. This man here, meet Mario. So, Mario, can you just tell our audience that what Nintendo actually do?
Thank you, Rishabh, for that. So basically, Nintendo Corporation Limited is a technological and innovation-driven company that manufactures and deals in home leisure equipment. It builds both hardware and software and market home video game systems.
Now, our main concern for the Nintendo Corporation Limited is its logistic and supply chain process. Now, if we generalize that how video game industry, how the logistics work in the video game industry, they are basically divided into 4 steps. These are operations, manufacturing, distributions, and retailing. Now, what Nintendo did, it divided its operations part into 3 significantly broad fields. The first one is the content provider, the second is the developer, and the third is publisher. Now, who are content provider? The content provider are basically the licensed people who provide content, who provide storyline, ideas, characters. Now, if I want to give you an example, you can just think about Activision's Call of Duty. The storyline, the cutscenes, credits, all these are actually licensed from real war documentaries. Fascinating, right? Now, the second one is developers. So, who are developers? Developers are basically software engineers, software marketing companies that make games, that make softwares on which games can be played on. They're not usually the part of the main corporation. Like Nintendo, they hire third-party agencies. They hire third-party software developers. They do also have their own studios like iStudio, QPath. These are the main studios that work for Nintendo's games. Now, the third one are publisher. Publishers are basically the people who are responsible for managing and financing the games. Now, the second step is manufacturing. I think, Mario, you can tell us about something about manufacturing of Nintendo Corporation. I think there are a lot of anomalies in the manufacturing process. What do you think, Mario?
Yes, I think you are right, Rishabh. I think there are a lot of anomalies in the manufacturing process of our Nintendo Corporation. Basically, before I start with the anomalies, I would like to tell you what actually hardware manufacturers do. They can be best described as console gaming platform manufacturing companies which produce hardware components and devices to process video games, PCs, gaming consoles, tablets, handhelds, smartphones. Now, Nintendo is one of the top hardware manufacturing companies. Now, the anomaly is the company commissions outside manufacturers for the production of finished products. Now, this is really actually a problem for us. Now just imagine a situation if there is a demand in Australia and my production facilities are located overseas, then how can my company will meet that demand? It's not really feasible.
Thank you so much for that information, Mario. Now we are going to talk about distribution channel, that how they are doing the distribution. Now Nintendo has 3 types of distribution channel. The first one is physical distribution, digital distribution, and the subscription-based services. Now, what is physical distribution? It's basically that what you find in stores, all the consoles or the games that you find in stores and you go and buy them, it's basically a physical distribution channel. Now, second is digital distribution. If you order and if you get it delivered by an online services like Amazon, eBay, or any other e-commerce websites. So that is a digital distribution channel. Now, third is subscription based. Like nowadays, there are a lot of cloud services that we know of, right? The iOS, the Android, you can find all the games like Super Mario, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Run, Animal Crossing. You can find these games on Android and iOS. Now, concluding our presentation here, as we all know that how supply chain processes and all the logistics have been affected by COVID-19, but Nintendo played smart. Last year itself, they converted most of their businesses into digital platform. Now, according to the financial report of Nintendo, they actually made a huge profit, like $1 billion profit through digital platforms. They are actually competing and they are amazing right now with all the new productions, everything. They happen to eliminate all the monotony by introducing the new production, new games and new services. And I hope they continue to do that soon. Thank you so much.